BCD in the house, and you are now rocking to another episode of Good Life Cooking. For today's episode, I wanted to talk in detail about my preferred everyday chef knife, the 6.5 Santoku Superior Mac knife. It's so important to have a knife that not just performs well, but one that you perform well with. Now, you know I'm about chopping vegetables for days, so I need something that makes that vegan life super easy when I'm prepping for meals. I've had my share of shitty knives in my life, and at the time, I actually thought they weren't that shitty, you know? It's when you get your hands on a really good chef knife where your eyes open up for the first time. Now, it's no secret that there are a million types of chef knives out there, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. So it's almost impossible to try and see all of them and figure out what makes the most sense for you and what works well for you. So I wanted to share with you guys what my top 4 things are that I look for in a great chef knife. Number 1, size. Yes, size does matter. Chef knives can range from 10 inches in length to 16 inches in length, and sometimes even more. And while the blades can vary from width and height, what's important is that you can be in control of the knife so that it's moving freely and precisely the way you intend it to move. For example, if the knife's blade is too long, you may have difficulty slicing as fast as you could be slicing. So you want to make sure it not only fits really well in your hand, but that you can control it with just the slightest movements. Number 2, weight. Weight is so important, I can't stress that enough. And it's not just about what weight will do and add to assist you in cutting something. What I believe is important in weight is purely being able to move your wrist without feeling too much resistance on the way up. So when you're prepping vegetables or tomatoes and mushrooms, you're really looking for something that's gonna give you a light slicing motion. This motion will be difficult if your blade is too heavy. And the reverse of that, if you have a blade that's a little too light, it might make cutting through something like a sweet potato a little too challenging. But again, there's never really a perfect chef knife. What we can do is get to as close to a perfect knife as we can. Number 3, the handle. There are so many different handles ranging in shape and thickness. What I ultimately look for is something that I know won't be slipping out of my hands. So for this reason, I tend to stay away from like cylinder-shaped grips, grips that are polished, and I absolutely love matte finishes and the feel of wood, because for me, that's what I'm getting the most grip with. Especially if my hands are like wet from rinsing veggies or something like that. Finally, 4th, the look. Yes, I am absolutely about the look of something. Call me materialistic in this case, but if it doesn't look appealing, I'm not buying it. The look can be anywhere from the color of the steel to even the way the logo looks. Ultimately, you're staring at this knife a lot as you chop your way through dinner, so why stare at a shitty looking knife? I tend to like knives that are black handled and have some type of Japanese logo on it. Yes, I'm a little obsessed with Japanese made knives, but I think it's because they scream perfection, and for good reason, right? It's been 10 years and I'm still slicing fruit with my samurai sword on the daily. Anyways, with these 4 points in mind, I've found that the Santoku 6.5 inch Mac knife is really my trusted everyday chef knife. I can chop, slice, I can even do some paring if I need to, which makes this knife an all-around go-getter. Aside from checkboxing the 4 points I just talked about, this knife actually requires very little maintenance. To clean it, I rinse and sponge with a mild soap and then let it air dry every single day. And I've been using this one for about 6 months, and it's maintained its sharpness. It doesn't stain, so I can't really complain. Lastly, the price point on this knife starts at around 70 bucks, which I think is a steal. Yeah, you got that right. For something this sharp made in Japan, it's just super worth it to me. So anyway, if you're cutting anything right now with a serrated edge or with a hand-me-down knife from your grandma's house or something like that, you've got to make the investment and get a knife that's going to make your life easier and just save you a shit ton of time. I'll link more info on where I got my knife in the description box below. I'll also throw in a little bit more information about Mac knives so you can check out their site. That's it for now, y'all. Thanks so much for watching me blab about my knife. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really means a lot to me. And then also subscribe, of course, if you're trying to see more of these videos soon. This is BCD on Good Life Cooking. I am out. Peace. good.